What's up, you guys? It's Abby. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're gonna go over my worst books of 2024. I'm not sure if these are gonna have like spoilers or anything, but if there are, proceed with caution. I'm also going to include my DNFs of this year, which I only had 3, which is crazy. But I also tend to like read books that I know I'm gonna enjoy, so I have 6 books on this list, surprisingly. That's crazy. Disclaimer, if you like these books or these authors, good for you. This is just like my personal take, so don't take offense, unless it's Colleen Hoover, then. But yeah, these are just some of the books that I did not enjoy this year, so let's get into it. It's kind of stupid, but I feel like I had to include it on here. The first book is Fracture Me by Tahereh, and you might be wondering, like, what book is it? It's the Adam novella. You see, this is like a 1-star, 0-star book, but because it's Tahereh, I had to give it to her. I just gave it 2 stars because love the author, did not like the point of view or who it was from, did not like Adam whatsoever.
Adam
Is unhinged in this book. If you were like wondering whether you liked him or not in like the full books, this book is guaranteed to make you hate him. When I started reading the Shatter Me books, I was like, okay, so where does Aaron come into this? Like, when does Juliet get Aaron? So I was kind of just like silently rooting for Warner the first few books. Like, okay, I guess
Adam
okay or whatever, He's not okay. He's actually terrible. If you know, you know. The next book I have physical copy of, The Gracier by Kim Liggett. Listen, the premise, it's really good. I even highlighted some stuff. I heard some things about this book, and I've seen it in people's lists and stuff, but when I read it, I was just like, I was counting down the time until it was over because it was just not my cup of tea. In Garner County, girls are told they have the power to lure grown men from their beds to drive women mad with jealousy. They believe their very skin emits a powerful aphrodisiac, the potent essence of youth, of a girl on the edge of womanhood. That's why they're banished for their 16th year, to release their magic into the wild so they can return purified and ready for marriage. See, it sounds really good. But as I was reading it, I'm just like you're telling me I have to read like close to 400 pages of this girl just like trying to survive these women out in the woods? Girls, we're supposed to stick together, not be against each other. And it kind of takes like a romance route. It was okay. Not the best book I read this year. Next book is The Laws of the Skies. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce his name, but it's translated by Rhonda Mullins. I did not enjoy this book. It was very boring to me. I thought it was gonna be like a lot of like horror, body horror, but it was just really boring. It's basically, I don't know, people just losing their minds in the forest. And if they're not losing their minds, they're either being murdered by a 5-year-old. I did not like it. I actually hated the main kid. I don't even remember his name, but I was so happy when that I was so happy when that kid got ate by like a boar. I think it was a boar. I'm not even sure. Next book is Night of the Mannequins by Stephen Graham Jones. I had seen so many people talking about this for like their Halloween reads. Honestly, it was really like evenly divided. Like people either liked it or did not like it. I happened to fall into the category of people who did not like it. Honestly, the main character was just really insufferable. It's about this friend group prank one of their friends by dressing up this mannequin and sneaking him into the movie theater. But it turns out, towards the end of the movie, this mannequin literally gets up and walks out of the movie theater. No joke. It's just crazy being in the mind. Can't remember if it was like first person or third person, but you're literally in the mind of this kid who thinks he's doing all his friends a favor because they're all being whacked one by one by this mannequin. You can either, live through the most horrible death you can imagine, or I can just like end it all for you. This kid's savior complex is insane in this book, and it turns out towards the end of the book that Manny is not even real. It was kind of enjoyable because I didn't DNF it. Like, I read through it. I was kind of waiting for it to be over with, but I said, this boy is nothing without his AP courses, glow string, and savior complex. That's what I said in my Goodreads review, and I stand by it. Next book is Little Stranger by Leigh Rivers. I wish I could unread this book. I wish I could wipe it from my memory. I simply cannot. I feel like I might have had like a better time reading Haunting Adeline than reading this. And that's saying a lot. I had listened to the audiobook because I had like heard so many things about it being so good on TikTok. And it was good. The audiobook at least, but the book itself, I'm scared. I just did not enjoy it. I really didn't. As someone who's open to dark romances, that was atrocious. And next book is November 9th by Colleen Hoover. I made a whole video about this. You can go watch it if you want. It's kind of a long video, but I feel like I brought a little light to the situation. That book and Little Stranger had to be my worst books of 2024. I don't even want to dive into why I do not like that book because I've already talked about it so long. I just want to be done with it. I want to wipe it from my memory and just wish I had never read that ever again, you know? Moving on to my DNFs for the year. I only DNF'd 3 books. The first book was Nestlings by Cassidy. I had also heard really good things about it and I wanted to read it during October. And I had read it like 50%, but I just got so bored. Nothing was going anywhere in that book. And I'm like, do I really want to waste my time reading this for a twist that's like not gonna come? I still don't even know what happened in the book because when you go to Google like book endings and stuff, they just like don't come out. Like they just don't answer your question, you know? Next book I DNF'd was I Dreamt of You by Bekki Vowles. This was an arc I had gotten it during close to when my reading slump hit, so I didn't really find anything appeasing at that time of the year. And I felt like this book, the synopsis and everything was like really good, but the writing was like very contradicting of what the book was about, which was about a woman moving away, escaping her very toxic husband and being like so traumatized by him. But as I was reading it, it just like female main character just didn't come off as someone who was recovering, healing from a very traumatizing marriage, you know? Next book I DNF'd was What Happens in Paris by Allie Williams. I have enjoyed Allie Williams. I've gotten her books as arcs. Loved the first 2 books in the series. This one, my reading slump was hitting, so I didn't really want to read anything at this time, so I feel bad. So I never finished this arc. But also, I don't know. I feel like the contents didn't really like interest me that much, so that's why I also DNF'd it. But I loved her first 2 books. Those are really good books. I loved them. Very cute. From what I read, I was like, okay, this is cute. This is nice. Just not something that was appealing to me at the time. Those were my worst books of 2024 and also my DNFs. If you like these books, good for you. I was just not the one. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button. See you in the next one. Bye.